However, the hotel staff observed a disquieting metastasis of the uncanny. The strange occurrences, once seemingly localized within the confines of room 315, began to seep into the very fabric of the hotel. Housekeepers discovered objects inexplicably rearranged in rooms that had been meticulously locked and unoccupied. Guests whispered of phantom footfalls echoing in the deserted hallways during the witching hours, only to find emptiness when they dared to peer into the gloom. A week after the tragic demise of Marcus Chun, Betty Adams sat in the oppressive silence of her office, the weight of the hotel's haunted legacy pressing down upon her. Since 1974, she had navigated the delicate balance between acknowledging the hotel's spectral reputation and safeguarding its precarious livelihood. But now, with the lurid details of the Chun incident emblazoned across the local press and reporters clamoring for tales of other haunted chambers, the whispers had become a deafening roar. They spoke of room 218. Betty's mind drifted back to 1985. A pragmatic businessman, a staunch skeptic of all things supernatural, had occupied room 218 for a single night. Around the spectral hour of 2 in the morning, he had fled his chamber in a state of utter disarray, clad only in his night garments, his face a mask of stark, unadulterated terror. He recounted to a bewildered Betty how he had awakened to find a gaunt figure, a woman attired in antiquated garments, seated silently at the edge of his bed, her gaze fixed upon him with an unnerving intensity. When he had fumbled for the bedside lamp, the spectral apparition had vanished, leaving behind only the chilling indentation on the mattress where she had been. Then there was room 218, a chamber the housekeeping staff actively refused to enter alone. Maria, the stoic head housekeeper, had recounted an incident from 1996. While preparing the bed in room 219, having just smoothed the fresh linen, all 4 corners of the fitted sheet had simultaneously lifted from the mattress with an unnatural precision, as if manipulated by unseen hands. Maria insisted that such a phenomenon could not be attributed to any natural cause. But it was the hotel's venerable bar that held a particularly unsettling aura. Behind its polished surface stood antique mirrors, their depths reflecting not only the patrons but also fleeting, spectral figures that seemed to materialize and dissipate in their aged glass. Both customers and bartenders had witnessed these ephemeral apparitions, shadowy forms moving behind them in the reflection, only to find empty space upon turning. Glasses would inexplicably slide from the bar's surface, propelled by an unseen force. One night in early June, approximately 3 weeks after the Chun tragedy, Betty found herself alone in the hushed stillness of the bar, tallying the night's receipts. A distinct sound, the rhythmic click-clack of high heels upon the wooden floorboards above, pierced the silence. She knew all the guests were accounted for, their doors securely closed for the night. A cold tendril of unease snaked its way up her spine as she ascended the creaking stairs to investigate. As she climbed, her thoughts drifted back to a long-forgotten local legend, a tale she had always dismissed as fanciful folklore. In 1916, a young woman had arrived at the Alaskan Hotel, awaiting the return of her husband, a miner who had ventured into the unforgiving wilderness in pursuit of fortune. He had promised a swift return, a mere 3 weeks, but the weeks had bled into months, leaving the woman stranded and destitute. During that era, the 3rd floor of the Alaskan Hotel had served a dual purpose, its shadowed rooms offering solace of a different kind during the frenetic days of the gold rush. Driven by desperation to retain her lodgings, the woman had begun to work upstairs, intending to cease her activities upon her husband's return. One fateful day, he did return, his pockets heavy with the gold he had sought. He rushed back to surprise his beloved, only to be met with a truth that shattered his dreams. Enraged by her circumstances, a violent confrontation had erupted. The precise details remained shrouded in the mists of time, but the young woman was never seen again. Betty had always relegated this tale to the realm of local myth, but now, standing on the darkened staircase, the uncanny rhythm of the high heels echoing above, a chilling doubt began to gnaw at her skepticism. The sound emanated from room 218, the very chamber where the skeptical businessman had encountered the spectral woman in the antiquated dress. The coincidence was too profound to ignore. She reached the door of room 218, her hand trembling as she inserted the key. The room was plunged in absolute darkness, save for an eerie, arterial red glow emanating from the antique mirror affixed to the wall. As Betty pushed the door open, a gasp escaped her lips, a primal scream caught in her throat. Reflected in the crimson-tinged glass, the entire room was filled with spectral figures, their attire and bearing belonging to the long-vanished era of the early 1900s, a ghostly gathering conjured from the hotel's tumultuous past. She recoiled, whirling around to confront the scene within the room itself, but it was empty, the oppressive darkness punctuated only by the unsettling red reflection in the aged mirror. In the aftermath of that terrifying night, Betty sought solace and understanding in the archives of the Juneau Historical Society. Within the brittle pages of the Juneau Empire newspaper from October 1916, she unearthed a small, almost overlooked article. It recounted the return of a miner to town and his discovery of his wife working at the Alaskan Hotel. The article alluded to a violent disturbance, but when the authorities arrived, neither the miner nor his wife could be located. Other guests had reported hearing screams emanating from room 218, but no bodies were ever found, the case remaining an unsolved enigma, a silent testament to a potential tragedy within those very walls. Armed with this unsettling knowledge, Betty returned to the hotel and shared her findings with her staff. The tale resonated with their own inexplicable experiences. The housekeepers spoke of occasionally finding the bed in room 218 meticulously made with antique linens that did not belong to the hotel's inventory. The maintenance man recounted his daily battle with the mirror in room 218, which inexplicably tilted askew each morning, defying his efforts to keep it straight. But the most chilling connection emerged from the report submitted by the Navy investigators. It revealed a detail that Betty had not previously known. Moments before Marcus Chen's fatal leap from the window of room 315, he had been screaming about a woman in an old dress attempting to force him out. The same spectral figure that had haunted the confines of room 218 for nearly a century. Today, the Alaskan Hotel remains open, a tangible link to Juneau's storied past and a haven for those who seek the free zone of the uncanny. Betty Adams still presides over its spectral residents, no longer attempting to conceal the hotel's haunted legacy. She has come to accept that the truth, however unsettling, will inevitably surface. The hotel has even been featured on paranormal television programs, their sensationalized accounts often missing the subtle, more pervasive manifestations of the hotel's spectral inhabitants. Betty speaks of the quiet things, the soft sobs of a woman echoing in the deserted hallways in the dead of night, the inexplicable appearance of antique coins from the 1910s found scattered on the bar in the morning. And room 218? It remains the most requested chamber in the hotel. But Betty maintains a strict policy. No one is permitted to stay within its haunted embrace. Not out of fear of the spectral woman herself, but out of a profound apprehension of what a living soul might do when confronted with the undeniable reality that they are, indeed, not alone. The Alaskan Hotel stands as a silent sentinel, a place where the veil between worlds thins and the echoes of the past reverberate through the present, a testament to the enduring power of unseen forces and the chilling secrets held within its aged walls.